Hey guys, so I just thought I'd make a quick update video to my last video, which I'll link below, but basically I'm making these series of videos to help document my progress through something called reverse dieting, and I'm doing it because I'm at a really low calorie volume right now, and I've been that way for a really long time, but recently my body's like reacting negatively to it because it's like losing more hair than normal, and that's something that happens. I've been through this like phase for, I don't know, like it's not new to me. I've gone through it several times, and usually what ends up resolving it is that you just eat more or eat better foods. And so in any case, in the past, the way I've kind of gone about making my hair loss stop is I would just start eating a crap ton of food immediately, right? And that's really not going to help in the short term, I can tell you that for sure. Your body, when it starts to lose hair, it's usually after an incident or some sort of trauma happens to it several months in advance, because it's because of how long the hair growth cycle is. So usually when you start losing hair or seeing your hair loss, if it's due to diet, you see hair loss like a few months after you either started to lose weight really fast or some sort of trauma or stress or something like that is introduced, like losing a family member or some stress at work. So yeah, you see hair loss a few months after some sort of trauma is introduced, and then you see hair like recovery happen months and months after you start eating better. So it's not an easy fix. Like, this stuff takes time. Your body has to learn how to like trust you again and trust that it's going to get the right amount of nutrition for it to begin to kind of focus energy and calories back into things like hair growth. So in any case, when I started, eating a crap ton in the past to stop the hair loss, I just gained a lot of weight and a lot of fat and like quickly, right? And in a lot of ways, it's kind of damaging to your body because it goes from very low calorie amounts, and then all of a sudden it gets flooded with calories, and it just starts to freak out. I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on that. I'm not a professional, but I have seen the doctor for these types of things in the past. And, when at a point when my body was gaining so much weight week after week, like my doctor even said that, like, you need to slow this down because you're going to have a heart attack, because your body's not used to it and it's going to freak out. So in any case, I'm trying this reverse dieting thing, and the concept of this is to increase calories, but at a much slower pace so that your body can kind of catch up and begin to start trusting an increased amount of calories in a more efficient way and not, gain a whole bunch of crap. So, sorry, that's a really long-winded story, but the way I'm approaching it is that I'm increasing my calories every 2 weeks by less than 50 calories at a time, and I'm doing it just so I can see how my body's going to react to something like that. And I don't know, it's an experiment, because why not? Like, I'm at an age right now where, like, what are you afraid of, right? Like, we've been through this cycle so many times, and it's like if I really felt uncomfortable, like super uncomfortable with it, I know what to do. It's like I go back to what I was doing before. So there's really no downside in doing and trying something out, and you'll notice that with most diets and most exercise programs and all this stuff, you have to just try a lot of stuff to see what sticks and what you can stick with, really. And that's something that can fit into your life, because if it gets too restrictive or whatever it may be, if you go super hard with working out like every day from not working out, like, you're just not going to stick to it. So the whole thing is an experiment. I mean, your whole life is an experiment. So I'm trying this out. This is the first week after I started. So I started last week on a Saturday. It's about a week later. And basically, emotionally, I found it harder than I thought to be able to even eat like 50 or so more calories. I had anticipated that it was not going to be that big a deal, but it's just like, stress. Because it was also a new food, so I introduced like a corn cake, it's like a rice cake except it's made from corn. And it's a new food for me, and I'm doing that because I want to get over fear foods and things like that, so dual purpose, right? And so because it was a new food and because I was eating it at breakfast, which I never do, I think it was just I started to kind of freak out, but I made myself do it because I just got to try something. Like, my body obviously is not reacting well to how much I'm eating, so it's like you have to try something. So I made it through week 1, and the interesting part is I actually weigh a pound less. 3 days after I started, I weighed a pound less than when I started, which is scary. And now, after the first 3 days, my weight started going back up, so I weigh still less than when I started, but like by 0.2 pounds. So it just goes to show you just never know what your body's gonna do, and so in this case, it actually weighs less than when it started, and I'm not banking on that. We'll see what happens this week. I'm gonna still be keeping track and seeing what happens, but it was kind of really nice to know that my body can react, I guess, well, or maintain with more calories. I didn't know if it was going to be able to do that without freaking out, and it is doing it. So we'll see if the results sustain. I wouldn't be shocked if I was gaining weight, honestly, because that's, that's kind of what's going to happen. But it was really surprising that I was at a net loss in terms of my weight. So in any case, just want to make a quick video. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.